Raider! Oakland, L.A., Oakland, Vegas, Raider Nation, wherever, forever! You got your old Uncle Mosh and Raiders Fan Radio from Murph's Fan Cave, taking a lighter journey into the dark side. Sit back, put your feet up, pop a top, and enjoy the ride. Here we go!
Look left, look right, Paletnikov, a leaking pass, touchdown!
We miss you, we love you, and we'll see you in the Hall of Fame.
When you have great coaches, then after you have great coaches, you get great players. You have a great organization, and you tell them one thing: just win, baby.
Way up the middle, intercepted Filipiano at the 50, time running down. Oakland football, and I think Oakland victory.
The Oakland Raiders have scored on the most seamless, unbelievable, absolutely impossible dream of a play. Well, I love this team. I think this team can win. I think this team can win.
What is up, Raider Nation? Your buddy Murph back once again for what we hope to be a fantastic episode of Raiders Fan Radio, episode number 182 of Raiders Fan Radio, coming to you live from Murph's Fan Cave. Not a fabulous episode, but a fantastic episode of Raiders Fan Radio.
Well, yeah.
For some reason, Jeff, I fell into the fabulous bucket last week. I don't know why I said fabulous like 6 times.
You're fabulous.
Well, thanks, buddy.
Yeah.
Hey, so speaking of that voice that just popped up here on the other side of the fan cave, the man that adorns the western annex of the southern annex of the Murph's Fan Cave desk, welcome to the show, Swag Jeff.
Yeah. Good to be back, man. Good to be back. Sorry you had to do a selfie last week.
Yeah, man. What's the deal with that?
I don't know, but dude, you got like all the views and all the likes and all the super chats. You got them all.
That's what I do.
You know, yeah. I'm all about that.
Hey,
yeah, you did a great job, man.
Well,
it was a good show.
Well, thank you, buddy. I appreciate that. And it's all about Raider Nation, man. It's
Michelle Swiss says that you're the king of fabulous.
Thank you, Michelle.
Well, yeah.
But yeah, you know, it's Raider Nation, man. It's this amazing community that is built up around Raiders Fan Radio.
Yeah, man.
And the Murph's Fan Cave shows. And so thank you to the chat room for joining me last week for that podcast selfie, and especially the voicemails, emails, all that stuff, and all the Facebook messages we get every week. Like,
yeah.
It's gotten to the point where it's tough for us to keep up, and that's a great problem to have. So keep all that stuff coming, and thank you, Raider Nation, for supporting us the way that you do. Thank you to everybody in the chat. Swaggo, shout them out. We got so many in the chat room already.
Yeah. Of course, we've got my bestie Michelle Sweat. I've got my wife in here.
Well, yeah.
We've got the Mangus boys in here. Ron the Mater Raider, Lee B, Big Easy, Kevin the Raider Nerd. Who else in here? Raider Roo. Rev Raider was in there. Raider Flash. Who else we got in here? Yeah, we've got everybody. And the Manguses want to know how much money we ended up raising for the Josh Jacobs jersey giveaway. We're getting there.
Well,
you're jumping ahead.
You're jumping ahead. We'll call that a teaser, as we do here in the biz. Hey, we'll get to that here in a little bit after the break. Thank you for joining us here on the 8s, Traffic on the 9s.
Nice.
That's right. We're here in Murphy. Anyway, so just Swaggo, myself to start off, but Uncle Mosh will be here tonight at some point. We know that he's going to join us. We've got his Dominicos here on his annex of the desk.
Yeah, his cannoli is staring me right in the face.
That's like how he's like casting out. Speaking of Mosh, here he comes.
What?
Let me switch to the swag now. Welcome to the show, the fantastic, the legendary Uncle Mosh.
Yeah.
What you doing? You want to be on camera for changing your shirt?
Because Haley might be in the room.
All right, let me
go.
Nice. Switch off his camera there. So welcome to the show, Uncle Mosh. So as we're awaiting Uncle Mosh to arrive at his annex of the desk, let me hit some business here. Thank you for all of you that are in the chat room tonight, and on all of you that support the Murph's Fan Cave network of shows. You can subscribe to us on any of your favorite podcast services by just searching for Murph's Fan Cave. That's MURFS Fan Cave, and just hit the like, hit the subscribe, rate us, review us, all that good stuff, man. And we appreciate your support. And also for those of you that want to join us live, those so many that are in the chat room and otherwise tonight, you can always find us at youtube.com/Murph's Fan Cave. And once again, hit the like, hit the subscribe. Everybody in the chat tonight, please. It helps us out a ton. Helps us get the word out about the show. It helps us get the attention. And the more attention we get, that's more money that we get a chance to raise. And so we're raising money this year for our own foundation, which is the One Nation Foundation. And you can support the One Nation Foundation by going to onenationfoundation.net, and you can support us by making a donation.
Can I interrupt you for 1 second?
Please do.
Max has entered the chat.
No, my boo.
Well, yeah.
Oh, look at, she's got Raider Max.
Well, yeah.
I love that.
And then to interrupt you again, Ashton has given us a $10 super chat.
Awesome, Ashton. Thank you so very, very much.
Well, yeah.
That's amazing.
Thank you so much.
That is so cool. Thank you, Ashton. We appreciate the support. So, yes, so any of that super chat money that you send us, any of the donations that go to One Nation Foundation directly,
yes,
or in the case where we were doing the Josh Jacobs jersey giveaway, which I'm going to tell you all about here in just a second.
Yes.
All that money goes to One Nation Foundation, and we have a different Mosh is doing his own show. What's going on? But,
he's on Vinny Fan Radio.
Your kid ordered.
Oh, okay. He's ordering Vinny around. It's something to do with a cannoli and I don't know what else, taco sauce or something.
I forgot stuff. I had to send the kid. I had to send him to go get stuff out of my car.
Oh, wait, you sent him on a
scavenger hunt. I
you
gave him a list.
Mosh, he's only 14. He can't buy beer and smokes yet.
He can't.
No.
I gave him my ID. I gave him my ID and my keys, and I was like, "Go get me stuff, man! Don't and hurry up!
And hurry up! Welcome to the show, Mosh.
Oh my gosh!
Thank you for hustling to get here, man.
It was crazy.
Mosh is going straight out of the work zone into the fan cave, Raiders fan radio zone.
It was nuts, man. The traffic was stupid. It's thank you, Zeta.
I don't know who Zeta is.
Zeta's the tornado that we're not the tornado, the
tropical
hurricane,
storm.
the tropical storm, whatever it is.
Yeah.
Now and it's killing us and the town I live in the town I work in when it rains, they're stupid. People are stupid.
They just start running into each other.
They're stupid. Yeah. Go ahead, have your little show.
I
gotta get some food.
Yeah, get your food, take your time, and so we'll keep doing the that old Raiders fan radio thing we do over here. All right, so and you're going to get a kick out of this. This will be good standby for you, Mosh. You'll have a few minutes on this.
I'm not going to spit up my sandwich or anything. Man.
No, you're going to like it.
I'm going to get a cannoli through my nose or anything.
No, you're going to like it. So anyway, so all these we're going to support through the One Nation Foundation, a lot of fantastic causes, including XOXO Stabler Foundation, including the Blitnikoff Foundation, and then one very special cause that we donated to this past week, and we'll share all that with you here in just a minute. So thank you for all of you, once again, for all the support you give us each and every week, and let's go ahead and kick into a little bit of the episode formal, and we always start that off at the top of the show by taking our show number, which tonight is 182 of these things that we have done, and Swag Jeff does a great job of tying that back into something significant within Raider Nation. Swaggo, what do you got?
Absolutely. So before we move on from the One Nation Foundation,
okay.
Before we move on, for those of you that entered in right away,
Vinny making an appearance.
Oh yeah, there he is. Put some draws on, bro.
Thanks for the delivery, bro.
What do you got? Like, hey, Vinny, you driving Uber Eats now or what?
Yeah.
Hey. Don't worry about what Vinny's driving.
All right.
Oh, my gosh. So, speaking of the One Nation Foundation.
Yes.
So I was late to the show. I was sitting right here, but I was late getting into the chat because I'm working on our new swag page.
We actually got our official show swag going now.
Yeah. Well, yeah. And that's why I was almost late, because I'm making my own swag. So we're making not only T-shirts. We've got phone cases. We've got purses. We've got for the ladies. You know, we've got it all. We've got it all. It's going to be amazing.
Masks.
Yeah, masks and laptop sleeves.
Aprons.
Raglan,
the baseball Raglan jerseys.
Yeah, man. Yeah,
the
3/4 sleeves, man. Yeah. Oh, it's so good. And I'm going to have all of the things.
So you made 182 items already for sale in the RFR store.
Yeah.
Welcome to 182.
Well, yeah. Absolutely. So episode 182, we're going to take it back to 1974.
Oh, Stabler's MVP season.
Well, yeah. And this cat had 60 receptions for 1,092 yards and 13 touchdowns. You know we're talking about Cliffy.
Oh, nice.
You know we're talking about Cliffy, and he averaged 18.2 yards per reception that year. That's unbelievable.
Dude.
18.2 yards per reception.
Awesome. Hit the applause
I'll hit the
button
applause button for Mosh.
Mosh has got cannolis and sandwiches going over there. Nicely done, Swaggo.
Well, yeah.
I love it.
Kevin the Raider Nerd, $19.99
Get outta
donation to the
here.
One Nation Foundation. Kevin the Raider Nerd, thanks, buddy. And as a thank you, and Chucktown Raider, $19.99 as well. Oh my gosh, you guys.
This is amazing.
Unbelievable. And Kevin the Raider Nerd, as a thank you for that, I'm actually putting a Tales from the Nation shirt on our page right now. So we'll be posting that link very soon.
And you know what, Kevin? The first one's on us.
Oh, yep.
We'll send you that Tales from the Nation shirt that you've been wanting. Brother, brother, I will get one in the mail.
You've been asking for it only for, what, a million years?
A million years. I will get one in the mail on the way to you, courtesy of us. And thank you, not because of the donation, but just because you've been asking for it. But yes, thank you so much for that Super Chat donation.
Yeah, and Chucktown Raider, thanks, buddy.
Same thing from Chucktown Raider,
gosh,
man.
You guys are awesome.
You guys are amazing. That's all going to go to the One Nation Foundation, and we're going to support so many great causes through the One Nation Foundation. And thank you so much for you. This is all Raider Nation, man. You guys make all this stuff possible. Mosh, what you got?
I got a soprano.
He's got a sandwich. Mosh is
I
giving.
got a sandwich.
Is Jeff Murphy in the chat from Domenico's?
Yeah, he is. He's in the chat.
It doesn't matter if he's here or not, because he made this beautiful piece of art. And people know that's what I do. I make art. It's like,
Look at
it's
that.
just
That's a good-looking sandwich,
it's the sandwich. It's just the most unbelievable thing. It's
a beautiful sandwich.
Okay, go back to someone else.
All right.
Oh, my gosh. It's so good.
It was fantastic. Domenico's
Yeah,
the best.
QB Jeff's in there.
QB Jeff is in there. So speaking of this, you guys are going to get a kick out of this. So next week is Jeff Murphy's birthday. Jeff from Domenico's.
Yes.
Former Alameda High School quarterback, the all-time passing leader for Alameda High School, star quarterback at Laney College, and then of course went on to play at Middle Tennessee State University. Anyways, and so now runs this fantastic deli, this local deli here in our little town. His brother, Mike, is going to be in town next week to celebrate his birthday. They're both going to join us in the fan cave.
No way.
Yeah. So it should be a good.
I love that.
Yeah, it should be a good time.
I love that. So we got another super chat.
Shout it out,
We got
Flacco.
another super chat, and it is the most beautiful woman on earth.
Oh.
Yes, she is.
My wife, $20 donation to the One Nation Foundation.
Oh.
Yes.
Thank you, Chris.
Thank you very much.
Amazing.
Thank you very much.
That is awesome.
Love you.
Thank you, Miss Chris. We appreciate you. That is so cool. Thank you. Man, that's awesome. We're killing it tonight already. This is beautiful, man.
This is the first $20 of the, I don't know, thousands and thousands of dollars that I'm going to be donating once this site goes up. Because I'm going to have a Murph's Fan Cave shirt, an Uncle Mosh shirt, another Swag Jeff shirt, every Tales from the Nation shirt. I'll buy my wife all the purses. You know what I mean? And she won't wear them. It's fine. It doesn't matter.
You get them anyway. Stickers. Put them on the car.
Oh, the stickers. We got the stickers, man, and magnets for your fridge. Yeah. Bro.
Oh, yeah.
Bro.
You're gonna
awesome.
You're gonna have Miss Chris. Get ready. You're gonna have your husband's logos.
Get a second job
all over your house. You're gonna have the freaking 8x10, not 8 inches by 10 inches, but the 8 foot by 10 foot blown up Swag Jeff logo over your couch.
No, I'm gonna hang it on the ceiling in our master bedroom.
Gross.
Well, yeah.
Oh my gosh! All right. Somebody hit a break here. Let's get on with some of this show.
Beats that damn Darth Vader Josh has got above his bed.
Am I hitting contact info? Let's do it.
Yeah, hit it.
All right, boys and girls, pay attention. I got your old Uncle Mosh here with an update. That's right. I got some stuff for you.
Purses.
Take out a piece of paper, a pencil, a pen. Heck, use your pocket knife and carve the info into your dashboard as you're driving down the highway. First off, you need to like us on our fan page on Facebook. That's right. Go to Facebook at Raiders Fan Radio Podcast. Don't forget about the Twitter. You know your old Uncle Mosh, he twits now. That's right. Go to at Raiders Fan Radio. Also, don't forget the Instagram at Raiders Fan Radio. Or what about our website? That's right, RaidersFanRadio.com. Heck, if you want to, you can even email us show@RaidersFanRadio.com or call us on the Raiders Fan Radio hotline, 909-345-3346. That's 909-345-3346. Don't forget Merv's Fan Cave on the YouTube, where you can get all the show links like the Fan Club Blitz with Splatterhead and Fitz. Find all our stuff on podcast providers like Stitcher, iTunes, and Google Play. All right, did I hit the time limit?
Sorry, I had us all.
my
muted.
God.
You had us all muted.
Let's do it again. Ready?
Ready, go.
Good.
So, all right. So it's so this weekend is Halloween. All Hallows Eve, as the kids call it. And so I don't know if you're going to be trick or treating or doing whatever in your own local neighborhoods. I think we're going to do some trick or treating. I'm going to be dressed up as Kylo Ren with my big helmet and stuff on. So I have the helmet going on. So I'll have the built-in mask working, so it should be a lot of fun. And anyway, so, yeah, Kevin the Raider Nerd says The Mandalorian premieres this weekend. Can't wait. It's going to be a lot of fun celebrating that show this weekend. But
Oh, boy.
I had you, hold on, Mosh. I had you muted. There you go.
Why do you keep muting me? Because I'm chewing?
Because you're chewing, so I kept you muted.
Oh,
We don't
no,
want,
no,
we
I-
don't want,
dinner.
we don't want RFR ASMR.
Yeah. So,
I got to move away from the mic.
yeah, if you don't mind.
It's a new
There you go.
It's a new mic. I had to get it seasoned.
What?
Oh, nice.
Nice. So, anyway, so Halloween's coming up. So I mentioned on the, I don't know if you guys heard it, but on the podcast selfie I did last week, folks were asking about if we were going to do a Halloween special. And I mentioned that the one time, Mosh, remember you and I did this really like elaborate, at least in our world, Halloween thing. And like 8 people watched and 4 of them lived in Ron's house. And so like, we're thankful of Ron's family for watching. No one watched it. Well, so as I always do, I go back and I look at the chat, and in the chat, Michelle Sweat offered up. She's like, let me decorate the man cave, or the fan cave, because she's like, I'm all about Halloween and all that kind of stuff.
It's her favorite holiday
It's her
ever.
favorite, and I'm like,
Yeah.
so, yes, Michelle, like, obviously we can't for this episode, but let's for next year, let's plan that. We would love to have you and your family come over and be part of the show.
Yeah.
And help us decorate the fan cave. We would love that. Mosh being a theater guy, like, we're all about that kind of stuff. So, now, all that said.
Only if she can do all of our face paints, too.
Okay, like if that's something she'd be willing to do, like
Yeah, she'd be
absolutely.
willing to do it.
Okay, that would be just like I'll just speak for.
She's
I'll
my
just,
bestie.
I'll just
She
speak
got
for
it.
you. Yeah,
she got it.
Okay, so so that said, one thing we did start doing a few years ago was we did a song. Now, I'm clearly not a rapper, but before I ever rapped on this show, I sang on this show, and it was a pre-recorded thing that we did, and it was to honor the legendary Uncle Mosh. And so instead of the...
Yeah, but you don't tell the whole story. I had to write my own song.
Well, I don't write so good. I don't sing so good. I don't write so good. But so we put this song together. Mosh did. He wrote his own lyrics, but we put it all together. And so we got some requests, Mosh, last week for this song because we didn't play it last year. We were so worried about copyright infringement.
Oh, yeah,
because we
right.
got busted on YouTube and on Apple. But I think we're good because this is truly an original, and you could call it a quote parody. So we won't get in trouble. So we're gonna play this song for you. This is the Uncle Mosh, and then we're gonna jump into all the heavy Raider stories of the week. But until then, let's celebrate this All Hallows Eve here in the fan cave with the Uncle Mosh. I was working in the fan cave late one night when my eyes beheld an eerie sight. For my uncle from his mic began to rise, and suddenly, to my surprise,
He did the mosh,
he did the Uncle Mosh.
the Uncle Mosh.
It was a podcast smash.
He did the mosh,
It caught on in a flash.
he did the mosh.
He did the Uncle Mosh from my fan cave in the way upstairs. To the tens of listeners that love his silver hairs. To the fans all came from their weekly chores to hear him rant and laugh and roar.
He did the mosh,
He did the Uncle Mosh.
the Uncle Mosh.
It was a podcast smash.
He did the mosh,
It caught on in a flash.
he did the mosh.
He did the Uncle Mosh. The YouTube was having fun, for the podcast had just begun. The guests included Q-Dog, Emiliano, Max, and Ron. The show was rocking, all were digging the chat. Lil Murph was on the air, sporting a new Raider hat. The other made men who never lag, all tuned in to hear the Sea of Fans
They did
mailbag.
the mosh,
They did the Uncle Mosh.
the Uncle Mosh.
It was a podcast
They
smash.
heard the mosh,
It caught on in a flash.
They heard the mosh.
They heard the Uncle Mosh. Out from the YouTube, Mikey's voice did ring. Seems he was troubled by just one thing. He opened his mouth and he started to curse and said,
Hey, whatever happened to Mondays with Mike and Murph?
it's now the Uncle Mosh.
The Uncle Mosh.
And it's a podcast smash.
It's now the mosh.
It's caught on in a flash.
It's now the mosh.
It's now the Uncle Mosh. Now everything's cool. Mikey's part of the cave. And my Uncle Mosh gets to rant and rave. For the Fan Club Blitz and RFR2, when you listen to us, tell a Murph sent you.
Then you can mosh.
Then you can Uncle Mosh.
The Uncle Mosh.
And do a podcast smash.
Then you can mosh.
You'll catch on in a flash.
Then you can mosh.
Then you can Uncle Mosh.
Thank you for everything you've done for Raiders Fan Radio, Uncle Mosh.
Hey, this is Scott, former Los Angeles Raider. Yeah, back in the old days, baby. And you're listening to Murph and Uncle Mosh, who happens to have the same hair as me. Check it out, Raiders Fan Radio.
All right, we appreciate you joining us here tonight for Raiders Fan Radio, episode number 182. So I call this the top of the show, 22 minutes in. We do a segment called Respect. We don't do shout outs. We don't do props. Nothing wrong with those things. But we like to give a little bit of respect.
Hey,
and so,
hey.
So it's thank you for playing the Pete Koch ID there, Jeff, because we'll go ahead and start off the Respect segment with the aforementioned Pete Koch, something that the Raiders have done. And so I want to give respect, obviously, not only to Pete for coming on our show and be a part of the Raiders Fan Radio family, but the Raiders themselves have done the really cool thing this year in where they are giving out these legacy bricks to everybody that ever played for the Raiders. And we've seen, you know, if you follow them on Twitter, we've seen Phil Villapiano get his. We've seen Bolitnikoff get his. We've seen a handful of the legendary Raiders get theirs, including, again, our good friend of the show, Pete Koch. So Pete took to the social media, took to Instagram, and did a video of him accepting his brick. And this is pretty cool. So check it out.
Wow, that's awesome.
Yeah.
Check this out. Just received this in the mail from the Raider organization last week. Man, it is absolutely awesome. It's a brick with my name and number on it. Every man that ever played for the Raiders received one of these. It's to commemorate the new stadium they've got up there in Las Vegas. And, man, this thing is awesome. It's like granite. It's like 15 pounds. And just makes me feel so proud about my relationship with the Raider organization, the opportunity they gave me to play at the end of my career. And they just continue to deliver to the alumni. Know this, folks, Raiders, the classiest organization in the National Football League.
There you go, man. And
I
so,
love that.
Isn't that great, man? I love the way the Raiders, pay their respects to all the men and women that built this organization. Obviously starting with Al Davis and then going up from there. And no players go unnoticed. No contributors to this thing go unnoticed. It's an incredible thing that the Raiders do, and so much respect to them and what they're doing there. All right. So speaking of Raider legends,
Thank you.
well, yeah. Raider fan legends for
Yes,
sure,
sir, yes,
no
sir,
doubt.
yes, sir. Man, I just want to say that I'm
Okay.
done.
You're done eating?
I'm done. Yeah.
Okay.
It was good. I'm gonna go.
So
I'm gonna go over here. Yeah, I'm gonna go over here and digest for a minute. Raider Rue.
How far are you from
Raider
enough?
Rue was monitoring every bite I took.
Well, yeah.
He's like, look at him go.
Oh, yeah.
Man, he's not even tasting it. He's chopping it once to make sure it's dead and swallowing.
Well, Rue's never had a Domenico sandwich apparently, because that's how you eat those things.
Well, and I was noticing that Jeff Murphy was saying, hey, send me your address.
Right on. There you go.
I'll freeze one and send it.
Oh, nice.
Because somebody's like going, yeah, can I get one in California? Yes, you can.
Yeah, well, and there's a Domenico's in California, by the way.
Absolutely.
That's where it started. So, good stuff there. Yeah, man, the food is incredible, Domenico's. All right, so speaking of Raider fan legends, on to Raider legends themselves, Howie Long. We like to
Yes.
feature every once in a while. I love to have kind of like former players, or especially the legacy guys, the Hall of Fame guys, and their takes on some of the newer crops of whatever, the newer players that are in the organization now. And so this is Howie Long talking about one of our favorites, Max, talking about we have a lot of what do you need?
Keep going.
We have a lot of favorite Maxes. We got my boo Max in the chat room. We got Mojo Son Max, and of course, we got Mad Max Crosby. And let's check in with Howie Long talking about Max.
He's a really unique guy. Reminds me a little bit of Jared Allen. I said that on our show before I met him or spoke to him, and we had a long conversation on the phone. Mike Mayock had asked me to reach out to him, and really enjoyed the conversation. He's a guy that desperately wants to be great and is willing to pay the price to do that. And if you're fortunate, you stay healthy and you catch some of those breaks, you have an opportunity to maybe do that. He's kind of like Gumby. He just big, kind of long arms, and he gets his body in positions that are, unorthodox and, difficult to deal with. And if he continues to be hungry and dedicated to what he does and doesn't allow the distractions and all the, what do they call him, Mad Max and all that, and that's great. But the bottom line is be great. Be great on Wednesday, be great on Thursday, be great on Saturday, be great on Sunday.
Love it, man. Some great stuff there from the legend Howie Long. Uncle Mosh, do you know who the leading sacker is for the Raiders this season?
Mad Max.
Absolutely.
So,
you know how many he has?
7.
No, 4. All right. So here's how dominant Max Crosby is for this Raiders team. If you can call it dominant, we'll call it dominant within context. Max Crosby is the leading sacker for the Raiders. Swag Jeff, can you name me one other player that's gotten a sack for the Raiders this year? Exactly.
No.
Mosh, can you name me one other player? Chat room, can you name me one other player that's got a sack for the Raiders this season? I'll wait a second for the chat room. You guys got any names that pop into your head?
The only other person I would think of would be Mo.
That's exactly, well, you're onto it, because Mo Hurst got a half a sack on Tom Brady, remember, because he went over there and then helped them back up again.
Right.
And it was like Michigan showing Michigan respect, that whole thing.
Sure.
So Carl Nassib and Maurice Hurst shared in that one, so they each have a half a sack. Chat room, here you go. Oh, somebody got it. Smith. That's right. Chris Smith has got one, and Nevin Lawson has one. That's it.
No kidding.
That's it. This our entire pass rush is now Max Crosby. So, and we're going to get into more of this stuff later, but it's clearly been a struggle for our team. But good news is we got at least one guy that's getting to the quarterback, and it's good to hear Howie Long's take on Max there. All right.
You know what's funny is Howie Long has great hair. So
yeah,
I was in a play. when I was in college in the 90s. Yes, I went to college late. Do your math. Anyway, so I got a part in a play called Tracers, right? I played a drill instructor. I played Sergeant Williams. And I had to get my hair cut, and I had my hair long. So I went into the barber shop, and I go, I need a flat top. And the guy goes, a flat top? And it was called Pastime Barbershop, right? They had a, where it is on the square, right? And they had pool tables in the back and everything. And he goes, I can do a flat top. And I said, I need a flat top like Howie Long.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, it was like 1991 or something like that, 91, cool. 92. Yeah, and he's like, I know who he is.
Oh, yeah.
I'm like, okay,
right on, man.
There you go.
That's awesome, Mosh. I do remember you with that haircut, actually. Yeah, I remember that, seeing pictures of it anyways.
A long time ago.
Very cool, very cool. Yeah, Howie with the classic cut there, no doubt. All right, we got 2 more that I want to give respect to. One is that, so we got asked earlier about the Josh Jacobs jersey giveaway that we did.
Yes.
So here's what we did. So Raider Cody announced on the Twitter that we were going to give away a Josh Jacobs signed jersey through the One Nation Foundation based on contribution. So for each $10 that you donated to One Nation Foundation, you gained an entry into the quote, kind of like a raffle for this jersey.
Yeah.
So the winner of this was actually, there's a lot more than one winner, but I'm going to tell you the guy that got the jersey. Congratulations to Vincent Malave. Vincent won the jersey. We did a random drawing, and Vincent was the name that was pulled. So thank you to Vincent, and thank you to all of you who contributed to that fundraiser, where all the money for that week up until the 26th, a couple days ago, up until that week, guys, we gave 100% of that money to Allison King, who's Kenny King Jr.'s mom, Kenny King Sr., his ex-wife. She's undergoing a cancer battle with some cancer that she was in remission, and now it's back, and she's got to deal with it. A lot of costs associated with that. So we're going to give 100% of that money that we raised to her GoFundMe that is up and running.
Nice.
$1,800.
Woo! That's unbelievable.
Let's freaking go.
That's so cool.
As of this show, last week when I was doing the selfie, we were a little over $1,000.
Right.
We raised another $800 this last week. And so thankful to you, Raider Nation, for what you did. Congratulations to Vincent for winning the jersey. And I'm going to tell you this, guys, this was so successful for our first run at it. We're going to do it again. And the next up is going to be the Stabler XOXO Foundation, along with the other money we're raising for them.
Yeah.
And we're going to take all that stuff. We're going to do another fundraiser. We're going to wait about another week or so, probably do it after the first of the month. And we're going to do another one. And we're going to give that money again away to XOXO. But thank you, Raider Nation, for your support. Thank you for your heart, in supporting this great cause and Allison King and her battle there. So thank you very, very much for that. All right. One more to get to, and then I'm going to hit some made music because apparently I don't count so good.
Oh, no.
You know, to become a made man or a made woman around here on Raiders Fan Radio, you got to call the show 3 times to get your message played.
Right.
Well, this guy apparently had called the show like 6 times, and I didn't play made man music. And this isn't the first guy that this has happened to because I don't count so good. So Raider Jeff... Go figure. It's a Raider Jeff.
Well, yeah,
of course it is.
Because everyone's a Raider Jeff. Raider Jeff in KC. He's behind enemy lines, Raider Jeff is.
How could we forget him?
Raider Jeff in KC called the show a whole bunch of times, and we've been playing his messages. And Mosh, I hadn't been playing his music, and we haven't called him out as a made man yet. So let's give respect to Raider Jeff in KC, and congratulations. You're the newest made man here on Raiders Fan Radio.
You are a made man. You showed you are part of the family by participation. By chance, a man like yourself should make enemies, then they would become my enemies. Showing you are a friend of Raiders Fan Radio, you have leapt across the line. Friendship is everything. Friendship is more than talent. It is more than the government. It's almost equal to family. Be loyal. Made man, Raider fan. Someday, and that day may never come, I'll call upon you to do a service for me. But until that day, accept this as a gift. And don't ever forget, words can hurt more, but silence can break hearts.
Murph, Swag, Jeff, and who's the third guy?
Oh, he's the third guy, the one that still has a job.
Oh, gosh, Mosh. Jeez. Oh, gosh. Oh,
Yeah.
God. That's all. Play something else. What's a palette?
How about this
Uncle
one?
Mosh, you're the smartest man alive.
Oh, my gosh.
What's up, everyone? This is Maurice Hurst of the Las Vegas Raiders, and you're listening to Raiders Fan Radio with Murph, Mosh, and Swag Jeff.
Oh my God.
Just win, baby. Thanks.
Here's why you don't sit in Uncle Mosh's chair.
Ever. And then diss him.
Oh,
and then diss him and then say something
Murph,
like this.
Swag, Jeff, and who's the third guy?
Yeah, that third guy. Yeah.
Uncle Mosh has no chill. Oh, my gosh.
I just don't forget. I'm not built like an elephant. I got the memory of one.
Oh, my God.
Murph, Swag, Jeff, and who's the third guy?
Yeah. Third guy. I'll spell it for you. MOSH. Still working. Here we go.
Hey, in all seriousness,
Shout
man.
out Will Compton.
Shout out Will Compton. No free shout outs. And glad that, hey, listen, he got signed to the Titans practice
Yes, he
squad.
did.
And we've been lobbying for him to get signed by the Raiders because there's an extended stay within 6 miles of the Legion Stadium.
Yeah.
So definitely. Hey, Franklin83, man, appreciate the donation.
Yeah,
man.
thank you,
Absolutely, Franklin, man. We appreciate you, my friend. Appreciate that. Any of those super chat donations, every single one of those is going to go straight to the Raider. What do we call it? The One Nation Foundation. Thank you so much, brother. Thank you so much. Samoan Raiders in the chat.
Samoan Raider. What's up,
awesome,
bro?
man. What's up, Samoan Raider? Appreciate you. Swaggo, while we're in there, before we get on to this next story, who else is in the chat?
Yeah, Michelle Sweat, Big Easy Raider Critique, Kill Jadis, Daniel Mangus, Lee B, Ron the Mater Raider, QB Jeff, Raider Flash. Who else we got in there? Stacy Ruff, Raider Rue, who still hates Gunther. Who else we got in there? Big Easy.
That crowd is getting larger too, by the way.
Well, yeah. Kevin the Raider Nerd in there. We're all in here.
Awesome, man. Appreciate y'all joining us for this episode of Raiders Fan Radio. All right. I got a fun story here. You ready for this? This is the most complaining fan bases in all of the NFL. This is a list done by the service is called MI Bets. Basically, it's Michigan online betting. Okay, so it's like like any of the other online betting companies there are, but this one is headquartered in Michigan, and they did a poll. And where they surveyed all the different fan bases that are out there in the NFL.
Right.
Okay. And they gave them not only their rank in terms of the most complaining, but also their most annoying habit. All right. So before I tell you where the Raiders are, okay, where Raiders fans are, let me see if you guys can guess. I don't know. You want to try to get the top 3?
Sure.
Okay. Well, let's take it turns. Mosh, you start us off.
Those stupid towels. You know
the Steelers.
Yes.
All right, the Steelers are number 16 on the list.
Okay.
All right, Swag Jeff, who would you venture most complaining fan bases? This is on social media, right? This is calling into radio shows. This is kind of the whole big picture. Complaining fan base.
I mean, the Raiders.
Well, I'll tell you when of course, but I'll tell you, we'll get to the Raiders.
Okay.
Who do you think's the top?
Cowboys.
Bam.
Yeah.
Ding, 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 ding,
yeah.
ding, ding.
Yeah.
Give yourself some applause on that one. Good job, Swaggo.
You can't. I control it.
Okay, give him to him, Mosh.
No.
The number...
He loves Will Compton.
The number one most complaining fan base in the NFL is the Dallas Cowboys.
Wow.
And their number one most annoying habit, using the victim mentality. Using the victim mentality. All right, Mosh, let's see if you can get some more. Who's next?
I'm going to go with the Cheeseheads.
Cheeseheads. Interesting. All right, Cheeseheads are 13.
They drive me nuts with those stupid plastic things that they wear in their head.
13 on the list. Also victim mentality. All right. And I forgot to mention on Pittsburgh, their number one annoying habit, bad officiating.
That's what they complain about?
I know,
Okay,
right?
okay.
All right, Swag Jeff, give me one more, and then I'll give you where the Raiders are.
The Bears.
The Bears. Not good. Did you see this list?
I did not.
You did good job. They're number 4 on the list. The Chicago Bears, most annoying fan base, and also bad officiating. All right, so here is where the Raiders come in.
Surprised it wasn't Trubisky or something like
that. No.
So the Raiders, Las Vegas Raiders, are 19. So we're south of the middle, which is surprising because
That's very surprising.
Anybody that follows Raider Twitter on game day, like, there's a lot of freaking complaining going on. And ours also, victim mentality. But I think that you could lump bad officiating into the victim mentality because, look, face it, we know we're getting screwed on game day by the officials for the most part. So if you want to call that victim mentality, I mean, knock yourself out.
Sure.
Anyways, to round out the list, you got the Patriots number 2, the Bills number 3.
Patriots number 2?
Yep, I was thinking that too.
Were you
What the hell
really?
are they complaining about?
I think it's an embarrassment of riches, right?
No, it's like we deserve everything we get and more.
Right, yeah, because they have so much that one little teeny thing goes against them. Look at, they're freaking out now because they're what, 2-4?
Right.
Like, and hey, by the way, we were talking about this earlier, Mosh. I'm going to run something by you. I don't want to get the weeds on it, but I just want to run a theory by you. Okay? My theory is this, that right now Tom Brady's balling out, and everyone is going, oh, Tom Brady won the divorce between him and Bill Belichick. I think that Tom Brady's playing very well, no doubt. But also, I think this is very calculated by Belichick. He's got the juice, and he's got the longevity in terms of track record of success that he can take a hit And I think that no coach would ever willingly lose. I don't believe in tanking in professional sports, but I do believe that he'll try to acquire as much draft capital as he possibly can. And if that equates to better draft picks, so be it. But I think that he can afford to kind of quote, lay down for a little bit and then come back long term, because Tom Brady's only got probably a year or two of high level production, where Bill Belichick is going to be coaching for another 10.
Well, I don't know that it's a competition between Belichick and Brady, but I will say that the whole Gestalt thing, that no single part is better than the whole. You know, this was a match made in football heaven, right? You know,
Yeah.
you got the GOAT and you got the guy with no sleeves, you know, and you got them together. So, you know, I mean, it was what it was. It was a dynasty. There's no about a doubt that, you know, it's just what it was.
I just hope they're not reloading.
They were both great, but I think Belichick is a master of reloading.
Yeah.
I think this is a guy that knows how to rebuild. He could write the book on rebuilding, and he does it so fast, and he does it so good, and that's what makes him so good.
Right.
This is a guy that knows how to coach up, man, and part of that is surrounding himself with other coaches that can coach up. Look at the pedigree that this guy has produced. You know, people leave his program and go on to do great things.
Well, except for the backup quarterbacks. Which actually, and you want to jump into that now, Swag Jeff? This might be a good transition into that conversation we had earlier.
Go ahead.
Bringing it back to the Raiders, because I know that there's a lot of people screaming at their radios right now or their YouTube feeds going, talk about the Raiders. So Jeff and I had an interesting conversation earlier tonight, Mosh, about the kind of the idea of Marcus Mariota, about how he hasn't taken the field yet, while he may have done Derek a lot of good in terms of, you know, iron sharpens iron and like complimenting him in practice and all that good stuff. But he really hadn't done anything on the field. But we were talking about that whole idea about the Patriots and about how when you look at Jacoby Brissett and Matt Castle and Jimmy Garoppolo and all these these quarterbacks that have come up underneath Tom Brady, Ryan Mallett. I mean, there's been a lot of them that Bill Belichick has moved on and generated draft capital with them. It wouldn't surprise me if the Raiders, as we've said numerous times, as they are currently kind of emulating, not copycatting, but they're emulating a lot of what the Patriots are doing. Is it feasible that John Gruden and Mike Mayock could be doing the same thing with Mariota, knowing that at some point during the season before the deadline, someone like the Cowboys is going to be desperate for a quarterback and make a move for your boy Mariota?
Right. Yeah, absolutely. I mean, it's definitely possible, you know. I mean, but here we are, week 8, week 7, whatever it is. They're coming up on week 8, right?
Yeah, 6 plus the bye week. So we're coming up on 8.
Yeah, I mean, we haven't seen Mariota wear a jersey yet.
Here's the thing: what I think about Mariota. Mariota's an ace kicker. Do you know what I mean by that? And I'm not talking about. I
know what you're talking about. Explain for the audience.
It's not putting your toe to the ball. Okay, you got 3 of a kind and a bullet. You know, and you're playing 5-card draw. You're going to throw away the 6 and keep the ace kicker.
There you go.
You know, maybe you'll draw that 4th, or maybe you'll draw another ace, or you know, that's what I'm saying.
Or it'll just help you in the
it'll just help you in the battle of the 3 of a kind.
Exactly.
You know,
yeah.
I mean, Mariota was never going to play as a Raider. I'm sorry, Swaggo. Well, I just don't think it was going to happen. I don't think it was in the cards. I think they got Mariota. Yeah, they got Mariota. They got Mariota at a nice price. They were able to deal with it, and I think they're going to keep him. They're going to trade him. Don't be crazy. Don't call me nuts. But he could go to Chicago, and we could get Mac.
We do need a pass rusher.
I'm telling you.
Oh my gosh, that's awesome.
Yeah,
that's awesome. All right, so speaking though of what the Raiders, let's get it back to the Raiders again, and let's talk about, while we're on the quarterbacks, let's get into Derek Carr. Someone hit me an ID there, man. Let's jump into some Derek Carr talk.
How about this one? I like this one.
All right.
Oh man, it's not.
Press the button.
I'm sorry.
Oh, you're hitting the button. Hey.
Hey, what's up? It's Brockman from The Rich Eisen Show.
And it's Del Tufo from The Rich Eisen Show.
You're listening to Murph and Mosh on Raiders Fan Radio. Yes!
So before we move away from the Marcus Mariota talk, before we move away from it,
you just can't let it go.
No.
He's got to stand up for his boy.
Well, it's okay. Do your thing.
So, when he dresses out, whether we trade him or not, whatever we're doing with him, I think if he dresses out in silver and black, he will be put on the field. I don't believe he'll never take the starting position now from Derek Carr. Derek Carr has and we'll talk about that more.
No, this is good. I know where you're going.
Yeah,
this is good.
If they're emulating the Patriots, they're bringing in guys with talent. So do I think that their plan was to bring Mariota in to take over for Derek Carr? I don't know. But I do know that if Marcus Mariota is healthy, whether it be just, one play or whether it be if Derek Carr goes down for an injury or something like that, I think Marcus Mariota will see the field in certain schemes, and I think that's probably why they brought him in.
That's a good point.
Yeah, I think they brought him in, and we might see him in some wildcat formations. We might see him broke out, wide, lined up as a wide receiver, something like that, but this guy does have a lot of talent. And so I do think that he'll be used somewhere along the lines if he stays.
We've seen him do it.
Well,
right,
yeah.
we've seen him break out wide. We've seen him catch touchdown or not touch. Well, we've seen him catch touchdown passes and passes down the freaking the sidelines, man.
And running 87 yards for a touchdown.
Absolutely.
His rookie year,
absolutely. I think that's a great call out there, Swaggo, and I agree with you. All right, so let's talk about the starting quarterback though. Enough about the backup. All right. So listen.
Let me say one more thing.
Oh my gosh! Are you starting Fresno corner already?
No,
go ahead because then I'll redirect. But go ahead.
All right.
Well, I'm just gonna say that the segment called Aloha Corner has been canceled.
Oh,
it's been canceled until further notice.
Just done.
Done.
Hey, he ain't the guy. What
he ain't the guy,
Yeah, you do.
Which is perfect because Derek Carr is our favorite quarterback.
Yeah, he is, and let me tell you why.
And now for something completely different.
That's going to play every time we hear the name Mariota.
Okay.
Sorry.
Now for something completely different.
It's because Jeff Murphy gave me a soprano. I got attitude today.
Yeah. Did you eat your cannoli too?
I didn't eat the cannoli yet.
Okay,
Don't worry about my cannoli.
I'm just wondering if you're on the sugar rush. I'm just asking questions over here. All right. Let me talk about Derek Carr. All right. So here's the deal about Derek Carr. Now listen, none of us in the fan cave have, aside from Mosh, have really apologized a lot for what Derek has gone through over the past couple of years. And in fact, we've been at times, as you know, if you listen to the show long enough, we've been highly critical. Never lack of support, but just willing to ask questions about Derek and basically trying to frame who he was based on what we knew. Not on season and not even on career numbers, but in terms of like numbers in context. And so here's some cool stuff. Now look, we were the first ones or some of the first ones to jump out in terms of questioning and quote criticism. Well, I'm also the first one to turn around, eat those words, eat that crow, and give you the numbers that support him within context. And I'm going to make a strong case for why he's arguably one of the best players in the league right now that's playing quarterback. I'm not going to jump out and say he's an MVP candidate yet, but as of right now, he's playing phenomenal. All right. So here's what I got. First off, anybody that blamed this last game on Derek Carr, stifle yourself, Archie Bunker. There is.
They didn't watch the game that I saw.
Absolutely not. You got the button. You got the stifle.
Mm-hmm. I got all kinds of weird stuff coming up. I don't do tech.
Okay.
Will you stifle yourself?
There you go. Stifle yourself. If you thought this game was on Derek Carr, you're not paying attention. And listen, I love you, Raider Nation. You can have any opinion that you want, except that one, because it would be wrong. So this was not on Derek Carr. It just wasn't, man. And any of the losses, frankly, this year have not been on him. And I promise you, we would be the first ones to call it out. So here's why. And we got evidence to support that. As of right now, gentlemen in the room, Mosh, we'll start with you. Can you tell me who the top-rated passer in the league is?
Probably Derek Carr.
Very close.
He's number 2.
3.
3? Yeah.
That's pretty freaking awesome.
Yeah.
The number, look, that is, it's there it is in black and white. The third highest rated passer.
And he's close. Read the numbers. He's close.
He's very close. Swaggo, do you want to take a shot at who's ahead of him?
Aaron Rodgers,
yes.
maybe? Or
Aaron Rodgers.
Or Russell Wilson, maybe?
Yes.
Both of those?
Both of those guys.
Yeah.
Okay.
Aaron Rodgers is number 2. Russell Wilson is number 3. And your Derek Carr, or excuse me, Russell number 1, Aaron number 2, your Derek Carr number 3, and then it goes Tannehill, Mahomes, Deshaun Watson, Justin Herbert, Drew Brees, Josh Allen, and Tom freaking Brady. Now that's a heck of a list to be on, and that's a heck of a job by our quarterback to be third on that list. So there you go. There's your first bit of evidence. Now that's not giving you some career number. That's not garbage time. That's straight up context. The guy is playing fantastic. Also, up until this last week, he had the longest streak of a 100-plus passer rating to open the season, okay? So what that means, so for those of you who are familiar with the quarterback rating system, it tops out at 153, and it's hard to get above 100. Now, last week against Tampa Bay, he had a 97.5 rating, but up until that, Derek Carr had 5 straight games to start the season above 100. Do you know that in NFL history, there's only 4 guys that have ever done that? Swag, you want to guess? Give me a name. Give me a quarterback that's done that, that's done it more, streaked more games with 100-plus passer rating to start the season than Derek Carr's 5.
Tom Brady.
Tom Brady is correct. Tom Brady is number 2 on the list with 8 in 2007. Mosh.
I'm going to say your man.
He leads the pack.
Marino.
Oh, good. Well, the other guy, the other man
Your
crush,
other man.
my other non-Raider man crush,
Yeah.
Aaron Rodgers leads the pack with 12 straight games in 2011. Then goes Russell Wilson.
Peyton Manning?
No, then goes Carson Palmer, your best friend.
Oh, I hate that guy.
Yeah, you hate that guy. But then Derek Carr with 5 games. So, like, the guy is off to one of the hottest starts we've ever seen in league history. In the game against Kansas City, Carr's 2 touchdown passes of 50 or more yards was the first time for a Raider since Jeff Hostetler did it in 1996 against Detroit. The only other Raider that's ever done that, Tom Flores did it in 1966.
Wow.
When he threw touchdowns to Billy Cannon and Hewitt Dixon.
Wow.
Like, Derek Carr's doing things we hadn't seen Raiders do in forever.
Yeah.
Before the Chiefs game. This is why, like, going into this game, we were saying, as critical as we were being a Carr, if he goes in there and beats the Chiefs in Arrowhead, he gets a pass from us. And here's why, Mosh. Before the Chiefs game, the Raiders were 2-10, and Derek had a 72.6 career rating in games when he threw an interception. Okay? And what have we been critical about with Derek? He throws a pick, and he sulks, and he does this thing, whatever, he taps out. Not in this game, he didn't. He came back, and in the first quarter compared to a 94 point rating in other games. Carr overcame that early miscue in Kansas City and had career bests in yards of 347, touchdowns of 3, and his quarterback rating rocketed to 126. Like this. So what were all the things that we've been critical of Derek Carr? He's fought back against. I'm going to give you one more, Mosh, and then I want to hear from you on this, please. Carr hadn't had more than 120 yards passing on deep throws. What did everybody always say about Derek? He checks down, he checks down, he checks down. He's afraid to take the deep shot. Carr hadn't had more than 120 yards on deep throws in a game since 2015 when he had 134 versus the Ravens and 140 against the Titans. He averaged 42 yards passing per game on deep throws in 36 games under Gruden before then. And now he's eclipsed that number. Like, is there anything left for him to answer, Mosh?
I don't think so. And I've been saying that all along. We talked about that ad nauseum the last 2 weeks. You did it by yourself last week, and we were there the week before. He has answered all the questions. All the questions. And somebody in the chat said, hey, where's the haters now? Well, they're not hating anymore. What's there to hate? We know where our problem is. Our problem is on the other side of the ball. Our problem is on defense.
Yeah.
Okay. You know, you have to do that. So you have to look at that and say, okay, our offense is cooking. Our offense is there. It's our defense is where the problem is.
Yeah.
You can't give up 100 million points. And,
well,
you know.
And that's an amazing segue, Mosh Swaggo. Before I got some defensive stuff to throw at you. What you got?
Yeah, I just, you talked about all those stats about how he's ranked highest in the league in this and highest in the league in that. Now we can celebrate that, because yes, we're 3-3, but we're 3-3 after arguably the hardest season
right.
in the whole league so far. We played, we were talking about it at Domenico's today. What quarterbacks have we faced? Cam Newton when he was actually good this season. Drew Brees, Tom Brady, Patrick Mahomes, Josh Allen.
Yep.
We're 3-3. Yep. No one expected us to be 3-3.
Right.
That's exactly right.
When we talked at the beginning of the season, before the season started, we did our predictions. We were 2-4, 1-5 at that point, so we're 3-3 and kind of headed into the easy part. So now, now we can look down the road and say, wow, we really have a shot to actually make a run here. So now Derek Carr has gotten that monkey off of his back. He's won in Kansas City. And now we can look at those stats and say, damn, he's a good quarterback,
pretty good.
because now we can celebrate that because now W's have come with it. You know what I mean? And that was the biggest criticism.
That was the biggest criticism, and I love you guys, man. So Swag transitions or segues into something else I want to talk about too, and then I'm going to jump back to the defense where Mosh was going with it. So great point, Jeff. Okay, so in the first 6 games, Raider Nation, listen to these quarterbacks we faced: Teddy Bridgewater, a resurging Teddy Bridgewater,
yes,
Drew Brees, Cam Newton, Josh Allen, Pat Mahomes, and Tom Brady. Collectively, these guys combine for 9 Super Bowl wins and 9 appearances. Now, granted, a lot of that is Tom Brady, but still, that's over 4 different guys. And when you look at Josh Allen, he's one of the emerging players in the league, and Teddy Bridgewater could be your comeback player of the year. So when you look at the first 6 quarterbacks that our team had to play against, like you're talking about Hall of Famers galore over here. Now let's go to the next 10 games. All right, Raider Nation, put your hand up if any of these names scare you. Besides Mahomes, because we've already proved we can beat Mahomes. So from here out, I want you to put your hand up if any of these scare. And guys in the fan cave, you just tell me if any of these names scare you. Baker Mayfield, Justin Herbert, Drew Lock, Pat Mahomes, Matt Ryan, Sam Darnold, Phillip Rivers, Justin Herbert, Tua Tagovailoa, and Drew Lock. Combined, 1 Super Bowl win and 1 appearance over those 2 guys. We got a winnable schedule, fellas.
Yeah.
The back 10 games here, look, I don't expect us to sweep the division, but we know we can beat Kansas City at Arrowhead now, so I'm pretty sure we can beat them at home. I'm pretty sure we've played good against the Broncos and the Chargers over the past couple of years. I don't see a lot of L's. And listen, I'm not the guy that comes out going we're going to win 16 games, blah, blah. But you know what? If we play half as good as we're capable of playing, do you guys see a scenario where we don't make the playoffs, Mosh?
Well, I mean, we've got 50% more wins than the Dallas Cowboys, and they're in first place. But no, man, it's of course we got our work cut out for us. Don't get me wrong. That's why we play the game. We're gonna have 1 or 2 that we might lose there. We're gonna be pissed. We'll be all mopey and mad about it and everything else. And these are games that we should win if we don't fix the holes in the Swiss cheese that we call our defense.
Yeah, that's right.
We have to do, because we're gonna play those guys and they're gonna have stellar games against us if we continue to drop back 15 yards on a 3rd and 8.
Oh my God! Third and 13. That 3rd and 13. Look,
please, seriously.
Anybody that's complaining about the game, listen, I don't feel bad about this one. Look, I'm bummed that we lost clearly, But when you look at that, it was 11 minutes and 53 seconds on the clock. The Raiders have the Buccaneers in a 3rd and 13, and we play the softest defense that's ever existed and give it up to a check down to a running back, which is exactly the play that you want. You want to force it to a check down. You do, and then we don't collapse because we're playing too deep, and we let them convert, and then the wheels fall off from there. As we were telling Jeff Murphy at Domenico's earlier today, I love the saying that, you know what, football doesn't come down to one play, except for sometimes it comes down to one play. And like that play right there absolutely sealed the fate for the Raiders in that game, and it was a defensive lapse. Now, why did we crush the Chiefs the week before? Because of what you're talking about, defense. We're going to get into the weakness of the defense, but we played good in Kansas City, and here's why. So the Raiders allowed touchdowns on 3 straight drives to fall behind 21-10. I know I'm going back a couple weeks, Raider Nation, but don't forget how significant this game was. Here's what the defense did versus Patrick Mahomes the next 6 times Kansas City got the ball. This is in Arrowhead. Punt, field goal, punt, interception. The Chiefs averaged 3.42 yards per play, and Mahomes had a 33.1 quarterback rating on those drives. That's what won your football game. Defensively, we won the football game. Then in these other games, we've laid down, and unfortunately, and I won't go through all the rest of these numbers because I know the numbers get stale, but just know this. When you look at all the numbers that are here, when you look at the way that we're not able to get to the quarterback, the fact that we talked about Max Crosby earlier being the leading sacker for this team with 4, and no one else even has more than 1. When you look at the way that the Raiders have not been able to create turnovers, that's where we're struggling. It is 100% defense. It's not Derek Carr. Let's celebrate what Derek Carr is doing. Let's hold the feet to the fire to guys like Paul Gunther, and let's have faith that they get this thing figured out. Swaggo, you got any last thoughts before we move on?
You know, I don't see how Gunther can make it the rest of the season. If you're going to play like that, I mean, you can't. I'm sorry, you can't win a football game even when DC's balling out. If you're allowing 35-plus points a game, I mean, we can't win. You know what I mean? So, you know.
Unless we have Julio Jones and we score 50 points
well,
a game,
that's
right?
true, too. That's true, too. Make that happen. Make that happen.
Absolutely. Hey, so should we make the playoffs? And I think, guys, I really do. I think we got a good shot at making the playoffs. So here's some historical context for you. Uncle Mosh, the Raiders have been 3-3 11 times. Twice we've made the playoffs. In 1991 and 1980, we made the playoffs those 2 years. And then this is fun. So the Raiders, out of all the quarterbacks that have ever been drafted by the Raiders, there are only 3 players that have thrown touchdown passes. Do you want to guess at maybe 1 or 2 who they are?
Stabler.
Stabler's number 1. 19 touchdown passes for Kenny Stabler in the playoffs. There's only 2 other guys that have thrown a touchdown pass. They've been drafted by the Raiders. So you got to disqualify Rich Gannon and Jim Plunkett. You got to disqualify those guys. You got to go a little bit deep to get this.
LaMonica.
No, not good guess. Not LaMonica, though. He wasn't drafted by the Raiders.
He wasn't.
I think it was the Bills or something, maybe.
Huh. Okay.
Yeah. Anybody else? Chat room?
Old school. So are we talking
mid-school and 1 new school?
Oh, ooh.
Yeah. Last time we were in the playoffs, Connor Cook has thrown 1 touchdown pass, and your other name, Mark Wilson. How funky is that? Stabler with 19, Mark Wilson and Connor Cook. You're leading touchdown throwers for the Raiders in the playoffs. Yeah, I know. All right, guys. You guys got any final thoughts on that? Mosh, Swaggo?
You know, okay, so I refused to join. I refused to join the cult.
The cult of Carr hater?
The cult of Carr hater.
Yeah.
You know, I just couldn't do it.
No. You held firm.
There was a couple of us old people on here.
Did you ever waver?
Never wavered.
Never once.
Never wavered. And I got to tell you, I'm going to take an unpopular position.
Okay.
Right now.
All right, do it.
Right now.
Do it.
And I'm going to get it from the chat.
Please.
I'm not a Gunther hater.
No?
No, I can't do it. I can't do it as a coach. I can't do it.
Oh.
I can't do
There's
it.
a fraternity amongst you guys.
There is, and there are rules. And I can't put it all on the coach because I see the way that we had a scheme against Kansas City, we didn't crush Kansas City. And I don't like to agree with Kevin, but he's right. We didn't crush Kansas City. We beat Kansas City. We didn't crush them. We want to think it was a crushing blow. We want to talk about everything, but
it was more for us than it was for them, right?
For us than for them. And we had a great scheme. You know, we talked about it every time we'd see Max drop back 2 yards and spy in the frog.
Arden Key,
I mean, and and we're like, man, this is great. This is great. We had a good plan. Our plan didn't work against Tom. That doesn't mean it's not going to work next week. Doesn't mean we're not going to work the week after. Okay, it didn't happen, and I'm not ready. I'm not ready to flush him. I'm not ready to flush him. Yeah, our defense sucks. I'm the first one that said it. I said it in there earlier, and Q-Dog corrected me. He says you've offended Swiss cheese. But I'm not ready. I'm not ready to say that it's Gunther's fault, because I've coached kids that I knew that had potential. Come on, who's our favorite Raider on the defense?
Jonathan Abram.
Yes, and how many tackles has he missed? I sat right next to you on the couch going, wrap up, Abram. What are you doing, Abram? Why aren't you tackling Abram? You hit like a freaking Sherman tank, and you're tapping him. What the hell? Come on now. That's not Gunther's fault. Sorry, guys. Yeah. Sorry, chat. That's not Gunther's fault.
Good point, Mosh. I love it. Dig the passion, Mosh.
Yeah.
Well.
Kevin the Raider Nerd's with you, and QB Jeff's with you. You know, it says, we got to put pressure on the quarterback. You know, if your name's not Max, you're not touching a quarterback this season. What's going on? You know, you got to give this secondary, you got to give them something to work with. When you give the quarterback 10 seconds to find an open guy,
oh my gosh,
they can't cover for 10 seconds. You know what I mean?
Oh my gosh! And Tom had that pass. Was it Miller that caught it? The one that
it's Scotty Miller.
Oh my gosh, Scotty Miller!
Yeah.
I hate the kid, but I could have caught that pass.
Yeah, you
seriously.
Yeah,
because all he had to do was put his hands out like this,
gently,
and gently, and the ball dropped in him.
Oh my gosh, that was a nice pass.
Come on, guys.
Tom's still Tom
Brady.
Brady.
Because just like Swaggo said, he had a minute and a half back there. Guys,
Jeff Murphy also, when we saw him today, he was like, if your defense is going to if you're going to struggle, then just blitz. Like we were talking about the Sunday night game the other night with the Cardinals and Seahawks. Like with the game on the line, the Cardinals have like 8 guys on the line of scrimmage chasing, Super Bowl winning MVP caliber quarterback Russell Wilson, one of the best deep ball throwers in the league, and they're just running him down. Zero blitz, like just dependent on singular man coverage on the back end, just chasing freaking Russell Wilson, putting the pressure on them. We don't ever do anything like that. And look, and I know Al Davis' philosophy was rush 4, natural pressure, man-to-man, bump and run. I get all that stuff, but that's not the way today's NFL is played, and that's not the personnel that we have to do it with, especially with Damon Arnett out. So, like, I'm kind of with you, Mosh, and I think this is where Gruden was saying that after the press conference, they asked him about it, and he was like, look, I'm going to go out and we're going to start fixing this thing as soon as I get done talking to you. Well, I don't think that meant I'm going to go fire my buddy. I think that meant that we're going to go out and start schematically. We're going to start looking at some things, because when you look at, like, the Raiders don't put pressure from linebackers hardly ever. Granted, they run a 4-3, so they got the 4 down linemen, and the linebackers are typically into coverage, or if they're in a nickel situation and whatever, those guys are covering. They're not blitzing. I think there's a case to be made to get freaking more guys committed to the line of scrimmage and chasing after quarterbacks, especially when we start getting into these younger guys. Because now, like, just like with any quarterback, though, you put pressure on them, they don't like it. They don't like it. What can you do to affect Tom Brady?
Okay, so
put him on his ass, right?
So there's a lot going on in the chat. A lot of people are understanding what I'm saying, not necessarily agreeing with it, but you see the point I'm trying to make. At this level, I don't think there's anything that anybody can teach Jonathan Abrams about tackling. I don't think there's anything that anybody at this level can be taught the skills. What you're doing is you're shining the diamond. Okay, they're saying you have to think about where you're going to be in this scheme, in this scenario, in this. You have to cut off this angle. You have to move up when you got to be able to read what's happening. That's the kind of stuff that people are going, oh, the coach's job is to do this. No, that's what you do in Pee Wee. That's what you do in high school. That's what you do in college
at Mississippi State.
At Mississippi
right?
State.
Yeah.
But these guys know this stuff. Now what you're doing is you're taking, this is your skill set. You're fast. You're mean. You're tough. You hit like a ton of damn bricks, Abram. You need to put yourself in the position to do that. That's what they watch on the films. When they're going, why were you not in that position? What drew you off? What made you stay towards the center when the ball was coming to the right side and you had to haul ass to get over there and you got there a half a second late? What made you stay over there? That's what they have to work on. That's what they look at. But they're not teaching these guys how to do that. These guys know how to do that. They just have to buy into that scheme.
So let me ask you this, Mosh, and then I want to hear from you, Swag, before we close out this segment. But this is great stuff. So, Mosh, being that Abram was out because of the COVID crap that we had to deal with Trent Brown, is he become already that much of a key to our defense to where when he's not in the game, like, because I know and I know that like that's not specific to what you're talking about in terms of the mechanics of the tackling, but I think that I feel like he's become such a valuable piece of this defense. Like he's kind of the straw that stirs the drink at this point.
And that was what was frustrating you and I the most when we were watching it. I see it and I go, what did he miss? What is he doing? Is he laying back because he was told to do? And that's probably the frustration that a lot of people in the chat that disagree with me are saying, is he doing what he was told to do? Did he lay back towards the center? Did he not go in and double team on that coverage? Did he not pick this guy up from the line of scrimmage? You know what? We don't know. We don't know how. None of us know. All we know is how they're playing, and they're playing loose. They're not playing tight like they did against Kansas City. The second half of Kansas City, our defense was not the same defense that was there the first half.
No, and that's where my question goes.
And so somebody somewhere made adjustments. We didn't do that against TB12.
So let me ask you then, Jeff, is Abram become that integral to how the defense actually functions?
Well, he makes his presence known. You know, I mean, have we talked about it earlier. Have we seen Corey Littleton? Has he taken the field this season?
Oh my gosh.
You know, Corey Littleton, who arguably was the free agent guy that we were most excited
fired up about him.
You know, we got this guy. He was at the top of our list, and damn it, we got him. And he's MIA. Where's he at? You know, I mean, this was the guy that we brought in that was the cover linebacker that could go up and cover guys like Kelsey and Gronk and people like that. Where the hell's this guy at? So you have a guy like that that's struggling. You got Abram, he was out. I don't know, man. I think he is. I think he's an integral part of this defense because people have to be aware of where he's at all times because he'll knock your block off.
Absolutely. And I think, frankly, too, and let's close on this point and let's move into the Sea of Fans mailbag. I think, too, that this defense looks, and this is a great conversation, too, by the way, and I can't wait to catch up with what the chat has to say. But this is, this I think is proof to us. We've seen this defense look a lot different since Damon Arnett went out. And clearly when we see Jonathan Abram going out, let's not be so quick to judge them against one of the greatest of all time, if not the greatest of all time, in a game that we pretty much, I'm not going to say we had it in hand, but we were competitive all the way up until that one play I mentioned in the fourth quarter. Let's not be so quick to judge this defense until we get those pieces back. And once those pieces are back and Paul Gunther can go to work and do what Mosh is saying, execute necessarily the plan that he had formed and not the plan that he had to do because he was missing those guys. So let's not be so quick to that. And let's hope that we turn it around, and we know we're going to turn it around this week in Cleveland, right? Let's go.
Baiting, looking. He's under the gun. He's tied. He throws. It is. He caught it.
was awesome, Mosh. You got me fired up, man. That was good.
You know, it's just
it was good stuff.
It's so much of it because you got to go on both sides. You got to look at the whole picture, man. It doesn't come down to just one thing.
Yeah.
It's
like we always say, don't judge players when they're injured.
I just right? wish that one of the things people don't fear our defense right now. Because we're, first of all, number one thing, the reason they don't fear us is because we're inconsistent. They may fear a few people on our defense. They don't want to throw against Abram all day long because that ain't going to work for you. They don't want to try to run up the middle all day long because F to the E to the R to the R to the E to the L is going to be there. So is Max eventually. You can't. You got to come at us with a big old game plan because we're not doing it. When we get all, like you said, when we get all our pieces in place, but I'm not ready. I'm not ready to flush it yet. I'm just not. Hey, Jeff, I'm just not. Jeff walking around, Swaggy walking around behind me and stuff, But yeah. So I think that's the key, man. I think we got to hang in there. We're having a good year, and we got to hang in there. We got to do the best we can. And we got to stick by it, man. We recognize the problems, but you know what? There's people making a whole lot more money than we do that recognize it and are making corrections and adjustments as well.
That's exactly right. Absolutely. And, if you told us at the start of the year, Raider Nation, look, when you consider the schedule that we had, if we were going to be 3-3 after 6 weeks, like with wins over Kansas City and New Orleans, I'm pretty sure most of you would have taken that. I know I would have. So I'll be first to own that. All right, so let's get to the Sea of Fans mailbag. This is when there is more of you and less of us. I hope you've appreciated the spirited discussion tonight, man. This has been a lot of fun. Let me shout out the chat real quick. Thank you, Swaggo. If you want to join us in the chat live, you can go to youtube.com/Murph's Fan Cave, and where you can join all of our good friends in there. Michelle Sweat is in there. Kiljadas is in there, or as Mosh calls him, Kiljadas.
Kiljadas, my best friend.
Stacy Ruff, Raider J is in there. Aaron the Q-Dog Raider, Raider Flash, Franklin 83, Raider Roo, Ron the Mater Raider holding it down in there. Florida Boy, what's up, Florida Boy? That's a new name. Let's see who else is in there. Running Bear, good to see you, Running Bear. Edgar Soberanis is in there. Appreciate you, Edgar. Sugar Shane, Keys, Guareb, oh my gosh, Gino Lira, or Greg Lira. I went to school with a guy named Gino Lira, so that popped into my head.
Did you really?
Yeah, I went to school with Gino Lira, but that's Greg Lira. Appreciate you, Greg Lira. Miguel Ruiz, oh my gosh, man, chat is full tonight. Appreciate all of you in the chat, and if you're in the chat tonight, hit the like button, hit the subscribe, and tell your friend about Raiders Fan Radio.
Hit the money sign. Hit the money sign and contribute to One Nation Foundation.
No, thank you, Jeff.
Yeah. So everyone saw me go behind Mosh right there, and saw me go behind the bar, and they're all giving me their orders.
What am I drinking? What'd you get me? What is this? I've never had this. What am I drinking?
Vizzy, bruh.
Is Mosh part of the Vizzy gang?
Yeah, you're hashtag Vizzy gang, man. Yeah,
shout out, no free shout outs.
Why is mine a different color than his?
What do you want? I got the pineapple mango.
They're flavors, buddy.
Yeah.
You got pineapple mango.
There we go. Yeah, go to Mosh. There we go. Yeah.
Ugh. What? This is like Mio with like when you're at the very bottom of the little thing when you squeeze in.
Yeah.
This is like when you don't have enough.
Yeah, it's like LaCroix, but it's got booze in it.
Yeah. So Running Bear wants
a lot of booze.
No, well, not less than a beer.
Yeah, well, a Running Bear wants a Long Island iced tea, and
Running Bear
Jadis wants a double gin and tonic.
Wow, these guys are ready to get after it.
Yeah, everyone's giving me their orders, but then Stacy Rubb says, "I'll take a Jameson on the rocks," and I said, "You don't get no Jameson, no Jameson for you, Stacy Rubb."
Oh my gosh!
No Jameson for you.
Clark County has put in a moratorium on you having Jameson, my friend.
They no longer sell him Jameson in Las Vegas.
Stacy Ruff he's got the only audio on here, the tailgating too much, and we didn't have to adjust it.
All right, so let's jump in. So speaking of Stacy Ruff, we're going to hear from him first off because he's the first emailer this week. And so if you'd like to be part of what we do here at Raiders Fan Radio each and every week, you can email us at show, that's SHOW, at RaidersFanRadio.com, or you can send us a voicemail at 909-345-346. That's 909-345-3346. Leave us a message, and if we play it 3 times, you'll become a made man or a made woman. So let's get to the emails. Who's got them? You got it, Swaggo?
Yeah, I got one.
The first one is Stacy Ruff.
Stacy Ruff. Dearest Murph, Uncle Mosh, Swag Jeff, and crew. Don't really have much to say. Go Raiders.
Okay.
And then he sends this picture, and it says, I have a pleasure room.
Oh, my gosh.
But then it's just his garage of all the Raiders. That's so funny.
Well done, Stacy.
I love that.
That's amazing. Good job, buddy. Uncle Mosh.
Evening, fellas. All right.
Hey, Uncle Mosh going all ASMR.
Oh, my gosh.
Hope all is well. Halloween is fast approaching. The horror story of the year continues with the coronavirus still causing havoc around the world. The presidential election is days away, and that will be a horror show depending on what side of the fence you sit. Meanwhile, back at the Raiders, we decided to have a fourth quarter. A 12-minute horror show of our own on Sunday as we turned a close game that could go either way into a blowout in the blink of an eye. After a week's grace following the win against the Kansas City Chiefs, the knives are out again for Paul Guenther, and it's hard to defend him. The Bucs look like a really impressive, balanced team, and we knew it would be difficult if we didn't do the right things most of the time. Going virtually the whole game without laying a hand on a 43-year-old guy with one knee is hard to forgive. And in the end, we just needed the clock to run down as quickly as possible. As soon as they stopped our running game and suffocated Henry Ruggs and the deep threat we had to be stronger on defense, we needed creativity from the coaches, and it was sadly lacking. With someone as immobile as Brady, you have to find a way of putting him under pressure. With the game at 24-20, the answer isn't sitting 20 yards deep and allowing him to dump the ball off on 3rd and 13. That won't get the job done. A high school coach wouldn't have allowed that. Hello? Where are the scheme we used at Arrowhead when we held the Muppets of Missouri to 8 points in the second half? I think I just said all that.
Come on. You know, right?
Come on.
You and Paul are like, you're like-minded in this.
We are kindred spirits.
Yeah, there you go. Thank you.
The defense simply has to improve. We're not using the talent we have in the right way. On average, we're conceding almost 33 points a game. This, in turn, adds more pressure on the offense. Something has to give, or a season that still has so much promise could get away from us. We've played some of the top teams in the league so far, and the Panthers. We now have a number of winnable games until the end of the season, and we could put a run of wins together. However, if the issues aren't addressed and we start conceding 30-plus points and 400-plus yards against the likes of the Donkeys, the Jets, and the Falcons, then things will turn ugly, and it's a good job there are no fans in the stadium if that happens. I'm repeating myself from a few weeks ago, but I think it's worth saying again. I admire Coach Gruden's loyalty to Guenther as a friend. Loyalty is one of the cornerstones to success, but it becomes blind loyalty and everyone will suffer. Already this week, Coach Gruden has said we have to improve on defense, and we will. This isn't the first time we've heard it from him. How long will it be before a change is made? If Guenther stays in the job for the rest of the season, it could have an impact on Gruden's future. If anybody hasn't seen the excellent Watts Raider YouTube videos on this topic, then you owe it to yourself to watch them. So, in summary, what did we learn from last Sunday? I guess it's as simple as this. If you can't run the ball and you can't rush the QB, then defeat is as inevitable as Philip Rivers' wife walking with a limp. Finally, this week, a shout out.
Oh, no. We need to start proofreading these things. Mosh, you're like the Ron Burgundy of RFR. You just read what's on the teleprompter.
Hey, you give it. I got here late, dude. I was eating a cannoli at halftime.
Oh my God.
Where was I? With a limp. Finally, this week, A shout out to Haiti Raylorette for her Sizzler Award win last week. It was great to add a new name to the list. I also have a question for Murph.
Okay.
A few weeks ago, you mentioned Amazon Smile being a link to the One Nation Foundation.
Yes.
Is that up and running now?
No, because they haven't officially recognized this yet. They have a database that pulls from the IRS, I believe, and it only updates every so often. I actually reached out to them because I noticed that we weren't on their list. And so, Paul, we will keep you updated. Thank you for asking. And yes, once that gets up and running, there will be a way for you to go to your Amazon. Won't cost you anything extra. You go through Amazon Smile, and then we'll get a little bit of a kickback from Amazon to give to One Nation Foundation.
Next Tuesday is a busy one for you all with the election and trade deadlines on the same day. I hope you get what you want from both. Stay safe, RFR family. Love you, Raider Nation. His Lordship, Paul Edgerton, Shropshire, Mississippi. Paulie Award winner 2019. Foggy Glasses Award winner 2020, and we know why.
Yeah.
BRT Sizzler scorekeeper, proud made man, five-time winner of the Raiders Fan Radio BRT Sizzler Award.
Yeah.
Paul! Paul! Paul!
Paul.
Paul!
Paul?
Paul! 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 Paul!
Paul.
Paul, your name Paul?
Paul.
I met him with Paul.
Who?
Paul.
Paul, yes, Paul.
Paul's not here. Hey, Paul. Paul!
Hi. I'm Paul.
All right, appreciate you, Raider Nation. Appreciate Paul. Appreciate Stacy Rough Raider this week with the emails. If you want to email the show an indefinite amount of times, you can become a made man or a made woman. Send us an email at show, SHOW, at RaidersFanRadio.com. Or you can call the show at 909-345-3346. And we always kick off the voicemail segment with the capo, the leader of the made men and the made women. He is Aaron, the Q-Dog Raider.
Greetings, Don. Murph, Consigliere Image, Underboss Sonny, Sergeant at Arms, the Sizzler, Big Raider Trucker, Mojo from When the Universe Speaks, Ramon the Mean King, Swag Jeff, Ron the Materator, Nation. Once again, the Raiders did their part to solidify the lofty legacy that is Tom Brady. You know, I'm sick of it. Gruden may be sick of it, but the Raiders did little to do anything about it yet again. You know, you have to sustain the attack against a competitor like TB12. I mean, go for, point for point. Eat up the clock. I mean, we lost serve and ultimately the game when Chucky went for a field goal instead of, that crucial 4th and 1 down 7 in the third quarter. You can't lay up. Brady went for 369 yards and 4 touchdowns, making it look, as Darth Vader once said, an empire all too easy. As TB12 departed the stadium, he posted a live video of himself saying, "I'm leaving the Death Star victorious. Now it's on to face the New York Giants in Week 8. I mean, so dismissive, rightfully arrogant. I really can't stand TB12. Now, defensive end David Irving, he signed on Tuesday and did nothing on Sunday. He was the only he wasn't really the only defensive lineman that didn't do anything virtually against the Bucs. I'm looking at the waiver wire and the trade acquisition scroll, and this week, available pass rushers, Carlos Dunlop from Cincy was traded to Seattle, of all places, and Everson Griffin out of Dallas was traded to Minnesota, and it seems like we're going to stay pat and play the hand that was dealt us. Good luck with that. Now, Trayvon Mullen played well, if only for giving up 1 touchdown, and if that's the expectation, we got a long way to go. Week 8, it should see the return of Jonathan Abram. Moving forward, it's obvious that the Raiders' pass defense still needs a lot of help. Safety Eric Harris, he shouldn't even be on the field, let alone, starting for the Raiders. Jeff Heath, who was the hero of the Kansas City game, did very little. Missing Jonathan Abram clearly hurt the team. It revealed our lack of depth, but not only that, we rely on this cat way too much. The fact that the defensive line was unable to put any kind of, pressure on TB12 like they did, against Kermit, the quarterback, bad signs. Tuesday, November 3rd, Election Day. It's the trade deadline for the Raiders again. They need to go out and be aggressive. We need a pass rusher, a wide receiver that might be a number 1 wide receiver, a cornerback, or a safety. Keep in mind that there are still unsigned safeties out there. Earl Thomas, love him or hate him, and Clinton Dix. Matt Haxel, however you want to pronounce his name, from the Raider Rambler. He also wrote in advance of the game this past Sunday that there are 3 Buccaneers on the defensive end that we should be aware of. First up, Antoine Winfield Jr., a safety, who happened to actually go out there and intercept DC4, so I guess he was on the money. Number 2, though, and I want to go more in depth, is Devin White, linebacker, who is one of the best young defensive players in the league. Through 6 games, he has played every single snap for the Buccaneers. So that means he's engendered a lot of trust from Todd Bowles and Bruce Arians as a young defender. Now, his speed is truly game-changing. Having run a 4.4240 at the draft combine coming out of LSU. Now, White was drafted at number 5 overall in the 2019 NFL draft, 1 spot ahead of F to the E to the R to the E to the L to the L. It still ain't furl. And if you watch the game Sunday, hey, just talk amongst yourselves on that one. Now, the 2 spots that really pop up as far as this guy are his 5 tackles for loss per game. Excuse me, almost 1 per game. I'm sorry. I'm still, blinded by the speed and the snafu by our scouting organization. You know what? I don't even want to talk about this White anymore. I mean, he obviously dominated the game. But number 3 was Shaquille Barrett. Now, coming as a free agent out of Denver, I mean, we had a chance at him, and he passed on us. But check this out. He's one of the best defenders in the league as a linebacker. Over the last 22 games, he has 22.5 sacks, 44 quarterback hits, and 6 forced fumbles. Only Max Crosby even approaches that stratosphere. Now, next week, we travel to Cleveland, and they're the cure for losing, if you ask me. They are a sputtering, struggling organization, even more than we are at this particular point. Expect their A game, though, in the early time slot on the East Coast in the elements. It should be noted that no one misses Richie Incognito more than Josh Jacobs.
Come on.
Yeah.
Arden Key, Benedict, Don't Call Me Trent Brown, Ice Cube, and Mike Dicker, you're going to stay on. Respect goes to Kevin the Raider Nerd, B-Dog in the Pasture, Raider-born Rico, Haley from Scotland, Watts Raider, Sugar Shane, Bobby Wasabi, Raider Homer, His Lordship, Paul from Shropshire, Mississippi, Eye Patch, Rev Raider, Monster Mash Ken, Running Bear, Coach Davis, Raider Lim, Raider Cliff, Oso Raider, Big Easy Raider, Raider 1975, Fabricator Gill, Y.O. Raider, Dead Scroll Stephen H-Town, sing me a song, baby, Amangus brother to be named later, Splatterhead, and everybody at the Fan Club Blitz. Rue.
All right, so there's something interesting, Mosh. So Aaron said so many things in that voicemail, but one of the things that he touched on there towards the end was about Incognito. And, you alluded to it earlier, like as a coach, like tell me about the importance of, the importance of gelling as an offensive line. Now, the Raiders have done a good job considering they've lost pieces, significant pieces, including Incognito, including Trent Brown, but have still kind of rallied around with these younger players and this plug-and-play offensive line. But how much better will they be if we have Incognito and Brown back at the same time?
Yes.
Right? Talk a little bit about that.
Well, I don't like to what if. I always got to go back to what, what if frogs had wings, would they bump their ass when they jump? We can't what if, but
I mean, as far as projecting, not necessarily looking back.
We can look at when we get these guys back. We got to Tiger Woods this. We got to forget about the last ball and look at the next one. We got to look at when we get these guys back. Where are we going to go? How are we going to slot them in? How are we going to work? Are we Gian and Han? Where are we going to go? That's what I think we have to look at. We have to look at not what we would have done or could have done or should have done, but what we are going to do, how we are going to do the next play. So to answer your question, when we get these guys back, we have to go back to possibly game 1. The mentality there. We have to say, okay, this is what our overall plan was. We're starting to put all those pieces back into place because we're going to lose other people. That's the nature of the beast.
Sure.
We're going to lose. That's why we carry so many guys on the roster. That's why we have a practice squad. That's why, Compton has a job. That's the kind of stuff that happens. That wasn't a shot at Compton this time. That was that was the truth. That's how these guys get their breaks, man. Bledsoe goes down. In comes Brady.
Yeah. Wally Pipp, right? Yeah. Absolutely. But I think it's interesting that, like, when you look at the way that our offensive line is constructed, like, we hadn't had all 5 of these guys. Have we, Jeff? Have they all 5 been on the field? And I'm talking about
in forever.
Colton Miller, Richie Incognito, Rodney Hudson,
week
Gabe
1?
Jackson, and
Exactly.
freaking Trent Brown. That was it, right? Like,
that was week 1, right?
I think so. I think that's the last time
and
that we
what
saw.
happened in that game? Josh Jacobs had 3 freaking touchdowns.
Amen.
You know what I mean?
So there you go. And I think that's kind of the point that I was getting at, is that, like, again, like, let's not get too down on what the Raiders are because of, like, what you're saying, Mosh. Like, we can't look back and go, well, if. But we can look forward and going, okay, well, when these guys are all together, what does it then look like? So good stuff there from Capo, and good conversation there again. All right, let's get into some more of these voicemails. Let's jump into some more here from our buddy Sugar Shane.
Murph, Uncle Mosh, Swag Jeff. This is Sugar Shane calling from the great state of Tejas, or Texas.
Almost thought he forgot where he was coming from.
Wow. I had high hopes for this game, but I just here's 3 takeaways from this. You know, if there's people that hate Carr, if there's people that hate this team, so be it. You're still listening. You're still watching. So you might as well cheer while they're still here. You know, it's a new team in Vegas. Hopefully. But anyways, here's my 3 takeaways. Nelson Aguilar is
balling,
the real deal.
Yep.
You know, despite few drops, he continues to be impressive, as one of our free agents.
It's our leading receiver.
You know, week 7 alone, total 107 yards and 5 receptions. You know, he was the team's leading receiver. And,
there you go.
You know, it's just, I just feel with him going over top, trying to beat defenders, I think Nelly, I'm not even call him Nelson anymore. I'm going to just call him Nelly. You know, he's turning out to be something good. And I do appreciate his effort in trying to get stuff done. And trying to win a game. I think the lack, here's my second takeaway, the lack of a pass rush, it's a huge problem now. We weren't able to get Brady on his back or anything like that. And I think once you start getting in Brady's head, that's when the best comes out in him. And either that's a good thing or a bad thing. You're going to get someone that's going to want to play now. And I think once you start getting in his head once again, I think that it messes with him. I think his confidence goes away because he's not used to getting sacked. I mean, when we had 32 pressures on Patrick Mahomes, it was just kind of like, where was this drive we had in the Chiefs game compared to this game? And here's my third takeaway to go along with my second one. Do you think the outcome would have been different of this game had we had Jonathan Abram?
There's the what if.
Big baby man-child himself, everybody's
Google Voice.
Oh! We knew it was coming. I was looking at Jeff hitting my watch.
It was lurking.
Oh my gosh!
It's been a minute since we've had a good old Google Voice.
It's been a minute, and you know what? There's another one tonight.
Oh!
Yeah.
Wow, he double dipped tonight.
Google
huh?
Voice is not playing. You got to get those
undefeated.
He is undefeated. You got to get those voice. If your name's not Capo, you got to get those voicemails in 3 minutes over here, Raider Nation. So I appreciate you, Sugar Shane.
Yeah.
Great stuff there. And definitely call us back and get the rest of those thoughts in. But yeah, man, we're not going to play the what if game. We're not going to go backwards with what if. We're gonna take the Raiders for what they are, and we're not going to worry about what the Raiders aren't. We're going to worry about what they can
don't
be.
play if.
Google Voice don't play
No.
it. That's exactly right. All right, so next up, a good friend of the show, Raider Rue. And before I play Raider Rue's before I play Raider Rue's voicemail, I want to give him a plug. So Raider Roo and good friend of the show, Monster Mash Ken, who is the creator of Little Murph here, they do a show called East Coast Nation.
Oh, nice.
And they call it a Silver and Black podcast. And so shout out those guys. And so I'm sure you can find them on any podcast service. Just search by East Coast Nation there and jump in with those guys. They do a great job. A lot of knowledge. And I love it when Raider Roo calls the show. And apparently, according to the chat, Raider Roo still hates Paul Gunther.
Oh,
I love
there you
it.
go.
I'm going to start. Hey, Raider Roo, I love it. I'm going to start keeping a running total of how many times
he says that. Yeah.
And of course, now that I said that, he'll probably do like 400 of them.
Yeah. He needs to start the I Hate Gunther podcast.
Nice. I would listen.
I hate Gunther. Yes, I do. I hate Gunther. You can too. Gunther sucks. He really, really sucks. I hate Gunther. So if you couldn't tell by that opening, Murph, Uncle Mosh, Swag Jeff, Raider Nation, this is Raider Roo from Logan, Utah, and, well, that's it. I hate Gunther. His defense is trash. He's trash. I can't wait to move on from him. I don't think it'll be this season, even though I want it to be, but he's awful. He doesn't know what he's doing. You cannot give up a 3rd and 13 on a dump-off to a running back. I hate Gunther. Hopefully we bounce back next week against the Browns. Thanks, guys. Go Raiders.
Raider Roo's in Logan, Utah. I spent some time in Logan, Utah.
When you were in the Air Force?
Yeah, I was at Hill Field, man.
Oh, nice.
Not too far from there. Raider Roo, we need to talk.
There you go, man. Right on, man. Good stuff from Raider Roo, so appreciate you. And apparently he's a little disgruntled with the defense, at least the coordinator. All right.
What's the coordinator's name?
I hate Gunther. That was funny. All right, next up. All right. Let's bring down the mood. If you got lights in the room, turn them down.
I told my wife to log off.
Log off. That's right. If you got ladies in the room, ask them to, step aside for a minute, step out of the room. Like, if you got any candles you want to light, any aromatics, man, go ahead and start them because it's Raider Rico. Raider Born Rico.
Raider Born.
Hey guys, Raider Born Rico here. So first of all, let me say kudos to the offensive lines. Kudos to Tom Cable. They were the only positive thing of this game, and that's why I sent a rant a few days ago to Murph. I don't know if he's gonna play it or not, but yes, they were the only positive thing. Now, if anybody of you was waiting for us to lose to start spreading their hate against the team or Derek Carr, and I'm not a Derek Carr apologist, if you were waiting for that, like vultures running around a dead body waiting for eating the guts, if you were like this, you're a disgrace. Get out. And anyway, I blame it all on the coaching staff. I mean, who was calling the plays? Todd Downing? I mean, John, you wasn't looking like Hulk Hogan. You was looking like you and Gunther. You were looking like the Bushwhackers, licking their hands, stomping their fists, doing a lot of noise, and then get smacked by the Legion of Doom. That's what you were looking like. And 4th and 2, I told about this already last year. We go into Vegas. Now we are in Vegas. Roll the dice, man. Roll the dice. There's no. You don't even have to thinking about. Roll the dice. This situation at this score, 4th and 2, you go. If you didn't convert, it's no problem. Every time you got to leave the blood on the football field. Every time. So blame it all on the coaching staff. And if there's something that need an adjustment, John, forgot the friendship. I mean, that was all Davis was trying to say, and that's probably why you have a disagreement. Don't let the emotion get too involved in the organization. With the Raiders is different. Plus, we are badass. There's no time for kisses and hugging. If you know what I mean. So if the problem is in the coaching staff, well, see ya, bye. Of course, if it's possible to fix, well, let's do it. Let's work. But we need result and positive result. Now, we got a strong schedule. I don't know if why the people say easy is not easy at all. Well, with the competitiveness that is in the AFC right now, that is a lot more competitive than the NFC. we can't afford to lose a lot of game. And then we got what we got. The Browns, they're in a momentum. We got to win yes or yes. And then we got division games. So we got to get better. And if there's something that we need to fix, and John, no matter what it's going to be, fix it now. So with all this say, I love you all. Let's go Raiders. I believe in this team. We're going to win. We're going to the playoffs. I don't care what you say. At least believe it. You know what I mean? And I'm out.
You know what? I love that sentiment. You know, Rico always makes some fantastic points, but it's kind of that whole, like, why not us? Like, believe it. Like, what else are you going to do?
What else are you going to do?
Right?
What are you going to do? Trade for orange?
Oh,
you know?
That's awful. Ugh. Gross, right? Yeah, I love it, man. So I'm with you, Rico. You know, we got the Browns, and then we got a bunch of division games, very winnable games, and so I'm fired up, man. I think we're in good shape. I really do, man. I think we're going to be a playoff team this year. All right, I appreciate Rico with the voicemail as always. All right, Mosh, here's one of your favorites.
My buddy.
Next up, and this is a good one. I'm not going to lobby for Sizzlers. You know I don't, but this is a good one. Your buddy, Kelleyeras.
Hey, what's up, Murph, Uncle Mosh, Swaggy Jeff, and all my brothers and sisters of the Silver and Black Nation. It's Kill Jadis 907, coming at you all the way up north in Alaska. I'm here right now with the Macho Man, Raider Savage, and I just got one question for you. Why are we here in the bathroom and something stinks?
Oh, yeah, it's more than what happened on Sunday.
More than Sunday?
Yeah, it's more than what happened on Sunday. Yeah. Give me the microphone. Yeah, because it took a whole lot of filthy foul things to beat us, yeah. The plants and stars aligned in a soiled way, yeah. And it not only took the Buccaneers to beat us, yeah, but it also took the referees and the entire NFL brass, yeah. I'm talking to you, Roger Goodell, the commissioner of the National Football League, yeah.
The commissioner as well?
Yeah, you had your putrid hands, Roger Goodell. Sponsoring that loss, yeah. Having us play a game when we weren't at full strength and taking us off the prime time at Sunday Night Football while others got to have their games postponed, yeah. But the Raiders don't back down from a challenge, yeah. And the Raider Nation, they love a good fight, and we brought it to them in 3 quarters. And in the moment of our glory, we fell into the sewage that was dumped on us.
That was a horrible loss. We just gave up, wouldn't you say?
Yeah, well, whether we gave up or not, that makes no difference, yeah. It's time to move on to more unsanitary things, oh, yeah.
Move on to what exactly? Come on, dude. You mean to tell me you did this and then you called me in here?
I'm here to give you an image of what we had to deal with for the past week and what we're dealing with now, yeah.
God, what did you eat?
Wow, what a stupid question is that? Everybody knows I've been snapping the Slim Jims. Twice in their life.
Okay, well, what does this filled-up toilet have to do with anything?
Because the Raiders are going to go to the latrine of the professional sports, yeah. We got a batch against the factory sandals with the Cleveland Browns, yeah.
Oh, well, the Browns have been doing good lately. Not so much of a factory of sadness, don't you think?
Yeah, it'll be a waste of time, wouldn't it? To give a little bit of downfall, yeah. A good old-fashioned dirty game between two teams who are trying to get in line for the wild card berth, yeah.
Wait, are you saying the West is lost?
No, don't be saying that, Gilchitas. I didn't say that. Don't drop a stew on me now, yeah. Hold it in for a while. The Nation doesn't sell for number 2, yeah. And we won't ever get our team until the season's over.
Well, then, how do we beat the Browns then?
Well, when you're dealing with the Browns, all you have to do is build them up. And then you flush them down. And that's all bullcrap. Yeah.
Hey, come back.
Google Voice.
Oh my gosh, I love it. My favorite line in all that was that when he says, Do you think that the West is? You don't think we can win the West? He goes, the Raiders don't settle for number 2. That was my favorite. Great job, Kill Jadus, man. Oh, I hate that you got Google voiced, man.
Yeah, because that DQs him from the
that
Sizzler.
DQs you from the Sizzler, man.
But it doesn't DQ him from a fanny.
No, absolutely not. And so far, that's our best running impression.
Yeah,
is, the Macho Man Raider Savage.
It's not an impression, mister.
Oh, he's channeling him? Is that what you're saying?
Q-Dog said he's a medium.
Nice.
And I'm not talking about his shirt size either.
Hey.
I was a medium. I was 6.
Kill Jadis is not happy about the fact that it disqualifies.
That's them's
That's
the rules, man.
You got to get within under your 3 minutes. I'm sorry, Kill Jadis.
Sorry, Kill Jadis. As amazing as that call was, man, you got to get it under the wire, man. That's right. All right, next up, Mosh Swago. You know the city.
Well, yeah.
Raider Beto, non-vote. You know the city. Anyway, wow, Raiders. After the Chiefs game, it made me believe. And then you let them score 45 points on you. You let the 45-year-old man score on you. Well, defense is really trash. I mean, Paul Gunther, you got to go, baby. You really got to go. I don't know why he's still here. Unless by work of God's miracle, he pulls out some grand scheme to make the Raiders a top 15 defense, which probably won't happen. But there's no pressure. There's no aggressiveness on defense. Very soft coverage. It's, all the free agents that were really good at other defenses, they're not doing anything. Like Corey Littleton's a big example. Marcus Joyner, he's not doing much. And I don't want to hear anyone blame Derek Carr because this is not Derek Carr's fault.
Come on.
It's solely on the defense and Paul Gunther's defense. Obviously, yeah, Aguilar dropped 2 passes, but you can't be perfect every game. But is the season over? No. We have a big test coming up with the Browns. Do I think they can win? I think so, but I don't know if Carl Joseph is going to have a field day because you know how Raider players always are with revenge games. They tend to have a big game like Shalik Calhoun did with the Patriots versus the Raiders. But we'll see how they play next week. I think they can bounce back. And then we have 3 division games, the Chargers, Broncos, and Chiefs, which the Chargers looking good with Justin Herbert and Broncos kind of donks, as always. And the Chiefs will be competitive, but 4 important games to win AFC West rivals out of those 3 games, and out of those 4 games, 3 AFC West, and got to win those to want a chance at playoffs. But also, Murph, the Dodgers just won the World Series.
I'm sorry, we can't. We're going to run out of time here. Yeah.
Dodgers won. LA all day. What's up with your Bay Area, Murph?
Right,
we'll correct
anyway,
we'll congratulate the Dodgers about the same time we make Greg.
We'll get to it next week.
We'll get to it next week. Yeah.
Thanks for reminding us, Beto.
Appreciate that, Beto. All right. That was awesome. All right, next up, let's go to our buddy in Houston, the Houstorian, Houston Raider Steve.
Murph Mosh, Raider Nation, Houston Raider Steve, October 25th, birthday of John Matuzak. He was played in the movies North Dallas 40, Caveman, The Ice Pirates, One Crazy Summer, Sloth and the Goonies. Took 5 hours for the makeup. Number 1 pick out of Tampa from Tampa. Out of Tampa, played for the Oilers for 1 year, for a year, I believe, and also he played for the Houston Texans World Football League, plays for the Chiefs, Washington Redskins, and then he played with Oakland, LA Raiders. He played in Super Bowl number 11 and 15. He played 123 games, started 78, 7 fumble recoveries, 1 TD. He's 6'8", 280. One hell of a football player. Reminds you of Ben Davidson. And the TV shows he was in was Perfect Stranger, MASH, Dukes of Hazzard, Silver Spoons, Hunter, 18, First and 10, and Miami Vice. We all remember Super Bowl 15 against the Philadelphia Eagles. He broke curfew when they confronted him about breaking curfew. He said the reason why I was out breaking curfew, I wanted to make sure nobody else broke curfew. He was just one hell of a player, man. He was just all over the place making plays. He took over games and everything the way he played. Just a giant of a man, like I said, Ben Davidson. And I just want to say that, man, he had a great career in the 80s doing film and TV. He's probably one of our most commercial person we have besides Howie Long and, of course, Alzado. But like I said, he was just a great football player. He took games over, and we really miss him. Unfortunately, he passed away from drug and alcohol abuse. He left us way too soon, but he was a legend. And that's my take of Raider legend in the Raider Vault, John Matuszak.
All right, appreciate Houston Raiders. So you hear us kind of giggling. We're giggling about the chat there. No, of course, not about Matuszak passing away prematurely there, but like Matuszak, like he's one of our favorites, Mosh. Like
all-time favorites.
We did some stuff about him with his North Dallas 40 appearance,
absolutely,
a few weeks ago, and so that kind of prompted. So listening to Houston Raider Steve's voicemail there, and thank you, Steve, for that awesome voicemail. That kind of prompted me to think about the Tales from the Nation show that Jeff and I do here on the Murph's Fan Cave Network, and we're going to do a Matuszak show.
Yeah.
I think that the Matuszak's body of work, considering not only as a Raider, but his work in pop culture, like we think it'd be really fun to do.
Yeah,
a Tales
let me
from the
know. I
Nation
want
show.
to come in for that one.
Okay, absolutely. And thank you for saying that, because that reminded me of when you and I did the Super Bowl Super Sunday show.
Oh, yeah.
And we featured some audio about Matuszak talking about how other players smelled.
Oh, my God, that was so
funny. Do you remember this?
Oh, that was the best.
All right, I'm going to play this for you guys as just kind of like a teaser, just to like illustrate the point of what Steve was making there about how fun and funny John Matuszak was. And so let's check in with him. This is like just prior to Super Bowl 15 against the Philadelphia Eagles.
It was here in one of the season's most physical encounters. The initial battle lines were drawn for Super Bowl 15.
Well, I learned that from getting close to Jaworski and knocking him down a couple times that he wears English leather. Jerry Sizemore wears Aramis. And that guy, Pete Perot, that second-year guy from Southwest Louisiana, he doesn't wear any cologne. He doesn't even use deodorant, I don't think.
That's
so
awesome.
funny, man.
He called him out about stinking.
He called him out about stinking, man. It's the absolute best, man. So love Houston Raider Steve. Thank you again. We're going to celebrate John Matuszak around here quite a bit here in the very near future. All right, Uncle Mosh. Mosh awards us the Sizzler Award to the best each week.
Sizzler.
Sizzler. Sizzler. Sizzler.
Sizzler. Sizzler.
Sugar Shane started us off. Sugar Shane had 3 takeaways. Aguilar, no pass rush, and the big what if. Raider Roo, I hate Gunther. He had a great song. I hate Gunther. Gunther sucks. Okay, it was great.
Oh,
okay,
nice, Mosh.
Thank you.
That's the remix.
Yeah, man.
The remix.
Yeah, Gunther.
We need to get one of Sonny's beats going on underneath here.
Rico threw us up some wrestling throwback stuff. Come on, Rico, with the Bushwhacker reference. That
was good. That was good.
Man, he had some great comparisons to some great WWE guys. Killianis, Randy Savage. He was doing his medium work, and he was channeling him, and he was talking about Roger Goodell and Slim Jims, and he had a toilet flush, and then Google voice.
Oh,
Beto added 2 years on to Tom Brady. Did you notice that? He called him the 45-year-old.
I know. I'm like, wait a minute. Am I throwing touchdowns again?
About the same time, Q-Dog was going, I think Beto, because Beto was kind of chill tonight. He's
going chill.
He was like, I think Beto's 2 AA's short tonight. And then Houston Raider shouted out the twos. The twos,
so good.
all kinds of stuff with the twos. But tonight's Sizzler Award, by default, Kiljanus, you had it wrapped up, is got to go to Rico.
Sizzler.
Sizzler. Sizzler. Sizzler.
Sizzler. Sizzler.
We are Metallica, and we are here for your Oakland Raiders.
You know why we out here, and we ain't playing around today.
From The Walking Dead to errant Jedi Knights, Raiders fans are a rogues gallery.
I see a
Now, before we hit the outro music,
yeah,
Uncle Mosh, I had to rap last week on the show, and you just kind of showed a little talent right there with the I Hate Gunther remix.
Well, yeah.
You want to throw that to a beat?
Sure.
Here comes Seth and Sonny.
Yeah.
Okay, you ready for the beat to drop, as the kids say, right, Swaggo?
Gunther, you suck. Gunther, you suck. Raider-Roo thinks you suck. I think I don't give a Gunther sucks.
Oh.
Gunther sucks.
Oh, as the kids say like this. Ready, Jeff? Ready? Oh.
Is that what the kids say? Is that what the kids are saying?
Well, yeah, that's what they do, right?
Oh, nice.
Yeah. You didn't join me.
Why? Because I didn't know that's what the kids were
doing. That's what you do. Oh, my gosh.
Hey, and Kill Jadis is a good sport. He knows he didn't win the Sizzler, but instead he gave $4.99.
Yeah.
Nicely done.
Thank you, Kill Jadis.
Man, we got the best group of guys out here.
We got the best. All right, Swaggo, shout them out, man. Let's get out of here.
Yeah. Thanks for joining us for another episode of Raiders Fan Radio. Thank you, everyone in the chat. Tighter Raider Flash, Sugar Shane, my best friend in the whole world, Michelle Sweat, Raider-Roo, Franklin83, who else we got in here? Aaron the Q-Dog Raider, Kill Jadis, Big Easy, who else we got in here? I'm keeping scrolling up. It's just the same people. Sugar Shane, Lee B. Thank you guys so much. Thank you for the people with the super chat tonight.
Yes.
Thank you, Ashton, Kevin the Raider Nerd, Chucktown Raider, my beautiful wife, Franklin83, and Kill Jadis. Thank you guys so much for what you guys gave to us tonight so we can give it to the One Nation Foundation. Uncle Mosh, take us home, my man.
We got 1 minute left. You got anything, Murph?
You got it. Take us home,
All
Mosh.
right, man. It's so good to be back. The three of us back. It's been a minute. We'll be back next week.
Yes, we will.
We'll be talking about that Cleveland flush.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. So tonight, everybody, we appreciate you all tuning in. We had my little buddy Swaggy J over there. We had Murph at the helm. This is your old Uncle Mosh saying, you've been listening to Raiders Fan Radio, where we take a lighter side journey into the dark side. What happens in Vegas started at Oakland. Hey, Will Compton, I love you, man.
Yeah, you do.
Nice.
Good night, everybody. Drive safe. Wear your masks. Get out and vote so that you can complain.
Yes.
If you ain't voting, you ain't complaining.
That's
we
right.
ain't listening.
Amen.
Y'all have a good one. Oh no! Where was I? With a limp. Finally, this week,